After on that big severance payout exposed by Action News. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stephen Clark.
And I'm Carolyn Clifford. The story keeps changing, and while Wayne County Executive Robert Ficano is trying to run from the scandal, he could not run from the Action News investigators' questions. Heather Catallo is here now with the very latest on this. Heather?
Well, Carolyn and Stephen, the excuses about how the taxpayers paid for Turkia Mullen to voluntarily resign for a new position have changed by the day. One of the biggest questions remaining is who wrote this undated letter that was released last week to explain Mullen's severance, and when was it written? Robert Ficano clearly does not want to answer that question, and now he's claiming he doesn't even know what letter we're talking about.
When was Ms. Mullen's severance letter actually written?
We've already given our statement. We answered all the answers to the commission, and there's currently a review.
Well, we'd like to speak to you about when that letter was actually written. Was it written last week?
At this point, there's a review going on. We've given the statement. We've taken responsibility.
Last Tuesday, the Action News investigators broke the story that Robert Ficano's former economic development chief took a $200,000 severance payout from the taxpayers. In August, Turkia Mullen voluntarily quit to become the new CEO of Metro Airport, earning $250,000 a year. At first, the county defended the parting gift, releasing a written statement on September 27th that said, quote, "This was a pre-negotiated component of her contract, which the county was obligated to honor." County workers who have endured 20% pay cuts were furious, and Wayne County commissioners say they were blindsided someone could walk away with that many taxpayer dollars when the county is facing a $160 million deficit.
It was part of my contract, part of my agreement.
Ficano was in Asia on a trade mission as the fury grew, but on September 29th, he defended the deal during an interview with WJR.
This is a standard type contract. Her predecessor had the same type of contract.
There was nothing standard about Mullen's so-called contract. Since the contract was the defense, we wanted to see it.
Are you willing to release that to us?
If I have a copy of it, sure.
But Mullen delayed. After our repeated requests, though, her public relations folks finally released this one-page letter that discusses severance and confirmed that this was her only contract with the county. The letter is only 7 sentences, and it has no date on it. The only signature on it is that of Robert Ficano. And the letter strangely echoes several of the excuses provided by Ficano staffers while they defended the severance. During the Wayne County Commissioners meeting yesterday, a top Ficano appointee could not explain that letter and admitted Mullen never actually had a contract.
There were mistakes in process. There were mistakes in paperwork. And at the end of the day, in the ultimate question, there were mistakes in judgment.
Did you personally sign the letter yourself?
I don't even know which one you're referring to.
Clearly, Ficano can't explain it either. Why did Ms. Mullen not have a contract, and why did you say that she did?
I told you, mistakes were made. She's paid back the money. And so she's, you know, they've rectified the situation.
These are very basic questions about dates and when things were written. I don't understand why you can't answer them.
They remedied. There's a review going on. I've told you that.
The issue of this undated letter isn't the only time we've seen Wayne County officials change their stories. A year ago, the Action News investigators were the first to expose a shadowy nonprofit called the Wayne County Business Development Corporation. Despite our repeated requests to know who donated to the fund, Ficano's press secretary at the time gave us 3 different stories. Then, just hours before our interview with the county executive, a website was hastily created listing some of the corporate donors, many of whom also happen to be county contractors.
That fund is related to this severance scandal. Turkia Mullen was the executive director of the nonprofit. We have been asking for months if she was getting extra salary from it. Our investigation into her severance deal has now revealed that Mullen did get an extra $75,000 from that nonprofit that's funded by the business community.
Boy, the trail gets longer. So it seems like they don't even want to answer even the basic questions to this.
No, not really. They're really not. Mr. Ficano read a prepared statement at the commission hearing yesterday, but he answered no questions from commissioners or from reporters. After our exchange with him this morning, we sent an email asking 10 specific questions. All we got back was a statement again saying it's under review.